Right, I'm here with Sarah Rachel Adams. It's Monday, and it's the 2nd of November now, and it's in Canterbury in the evening, and it's part 2 of blog 12, and it's the multi-dimensional soldiers.
Yes.
So we're going to speak further about.
It's getting kind of cold, isn't it? Nowadays, at least. Here in England, it gets so cold. Yes, this is continuing on from the last video that I did about all of these things, psychic assets, gifted people, just interdimensional soldiers, as I call them. And there's a lot of labels for these things, but essentially it's pretty much all goes down to the same basics of how people are being exploited and used because they have gifts, because they are bloodline or gifted children, indigos, crystal children, and so on. So this is the whole sort of subject that I have been working on a lot lately, and I think I've kind of like kept my silence about it for such a long time, and people do lots of work on these things, and this is my aspect and this is my experiences. And with the work that I do, I like to provide solutions rather than just pondering on, the gravity or the horror of all of these things, because they're obviously something that's very deep and something that's very dense and something that's absolutely terrible, because it's about people being exploited. So I'd like to focus on the solutions for the issues that we have at hand, and we do know that we have all of these issues. We know people are being exploited. We know that essentially children are being harmed in this process and stuff like that. So we definitely know about the gravity of these things. Now we need to find solutions for them. I think that the soul is a very, very powerful thing. It's a very, very powerful being. And in the end, a lot of the stuff that we experience is to show us how we don't want to be ourselves. And there are a good many souls who go through terrible things and come out much, much better. And I have suffered very terrible things in my life, and I've come out much better, sort of like a rough diamond, you might say. That was simply beautifully chiseled out by all the experiences that I have went through. So we can look at it like this, and I choose to look at it in a very positive way, because otherwise it can pull you down and it can be quite harmful to you. And if you obsess over it and ponder over it and ponder over the hurt and the harm caused, it will sink you. Your soul is energy. Your soul energy is also very, very wanted, because how can I put this? There is a market for soul energy. Lots and lots of beings are fighting over soul energy, because with you being a divine being and having a soul, you can manifest. You have energy coming from the divine source and from everything. So you are sort of like, it's hard to say this, but a couple of months ago I was telling my friend, I was telling them that soul energy is the thing that many factions are after, because it's a building blocks of even reality or access in different dimensions. The more soul energy you have, the more dimensions you can access. And with the dark beings stealing it, they use that soul energy to access other dimensions and all sorts of stuff. So to not get off topic, and it's very interesting, because when I speak about this stuff, sometimes I do get psychic attacks, and last time I got choked, and today I have a bit of a headache. And I was fine all day until I decided this evening, until my friend came over to do the video, then I started to get a sudden headache. So I do know that it's a sort of psychic attack, because of the fact that the unseen forces that rule this world do not want these things spoken about, because the hold they have over humanity and over the gifted and over everybody who could change it, they want to keep that hold. And so sometimes I just really need to relax and sort of take some deep breaths and kind of just let it flow. I have suffered where literally I had this whole subject in my mind put all together and then completely wiped within an instant, and I would have to think about it for hours and hours to try to pull that information back in. So I have those sort of issues sometimes. To go back to the subject of gifted people being exploited and being used interdimensionally to, like I said, to either look for technology or to access information for the factions that want these things, that are not allowed or to access those dimensions or that information. What they exploit people who are gifted or who are bloodline or so on like that. It's very easy, I think, to look at the elite and damn everybody. And it's very easy for us to point our anger for these things that happen, especially people who are gifted. I think they are targeted much more than people normally. People normally are targeted for their energy as energy batteries, but gifted people, they're targeted for their abilities and for their gifts, for everything that they have within their soul essence. They're targeted. And they suffer terribly because they're often gang stalked, and they're often drained because of the fact their energy, their abilities are being hacked, their energy is being stolen, so they're often drained, and they have a hard time with life. And I think that for them it's much harder than somebody who is normally just being used for energy, because of the fact that gifted people are often exploited on many levels, and they experience much more harshness because of that. It's very hard for me to speak about this because of the fact that I've seen people go through it, and I've seen it destroy their lives, and I went through it, and it's not something easy to speak about, and it's not something easy to take on. The thing is that I wanted to speak today how we can go ahead and sort of become free of these things, and free of the forces, unseen forces at work. And like I said, I think that a lot of people want to blame the elite, or they want to blame whoever they think has caused them harm like this, and that's the issue right there. It's not people, it's not the elite like you think. It's unseen forces that control the elite, because this is all a huge chess game, and they control the different sides of it. So to point your anger at certain people that are either in the government or certain people that have status is the wrong thing to do. You have to realize that they have been exploited, whether it's for soul energy or because they were gifted, and many of them were offered deals, and they also have been used and tampered with and literally soul hacked. I see many people who are in the media, or people who are in elite levels, who have their souls not even in their body. Their soul's sort of like trapped, and their body is fully hacked so that they can be used for the different things needed, different agendas needed. I had a dream about Obama once, and this was probably like a couple of years ago. I see, because I really don't get involved in politics too much. I just prefer not to, and I guess I could, if I went down that road, I'd probably spend the good amount of my time just bashing every single political figure there is, and I think that that's a bit of waste of energy and time. So for me, I always get answers. I ask the universe, and I always get answers. In particular, I had a dream about Obama, that he was hacked and he had been used, and his soul was not in control of his own body. This explains a lot of things, and this explains why so many world leaders are the way they are. They're not even in control of themselves. You have to realize, though, that becoming a world leader, if you become a world leader, you're going to have so many forces around you that are going to want to be in control of you. It's no easy task. I won't want to do it. It's a terrible task to have, because unless you're fully awakened, multidimensionally awakened, and you're fully in control all the time, clearing yourself and everything, and you have people around you who are really good, you will be tampered with, and you will definitely be used by the dark forces. So, it's a bit, you might say it's a bit stupid to say, oh, I could go up there and I could, give the people what they want, because you don't realize is that you will be tampered with and you will be targeted, and it's no easy task at all. And even the strongest of souls would have a very, very hard time to hold those positions. This is why we need everybody to light up, to become aware of multidimensionality, and this is the goal. And in the end, they have free will for everything, because humanity doesn't have free will at all this instant. To get back on subject about indigos and crystals and multi-dimensional soldiers and psychic assets, the point I was just trying to make is that a lot of these people are upset, and they're very upset at what they went through. They know what they've went through, and lots of them don't have proof of it physically, because they've went through it literally in time bubbles, in other dimensions, and literally they're messing with time and everything. So the proof for it is very little, and they know they've went through this stuff, and they know that they're not crazy, but it's very hard for them to open up to others and tell people that they've experienced these things. And they have a lot of I believe that a lot of people who have been exploited like this do have inner anger because of it, and because they've also sort of been condemned almost to know these things and have experienced them and not be able to have any help from anybody around. So I know people like that who then are awake like that, and they will get into the truth movement and get very upset at world leaders or stuff like that, and sort of like push that it's their fault or the faults of elite or whatever, when it's not that. We need to realize is that you've been exploited by darker forces, and these same darker forces exploit people all around the world for energy. You were just exploited more because you're very gifted and because you're very, very powerful. They only really, really target those that they know who can make a difference. So my plea to you would be to get back in control of yourself and realize that do things to heal on an energetic level, subtle energy level, and get back in control of yourself simply, and go ahead and then use the abilities you have to help out humanity. And I also wanted to say that people who are targeted, I get this, there's some sort of taboo thing that oh, you have to be a certain age to have been targeted. No, you don't. It's simply if you have gifts. I know that I've worked with very young people that were even like 16, 17 who had major gifts and were exploited. They don't really care about age. They don't really care about how you look. They just care about what abilities you have. That's important to them. So people who are of all ages in this area have been exploited. If you're an indigo crystal, like I said, if you have abilities to astral travel or to go to Middle Earth, or to go to different stuff, depending on the incarnations you have and depending on the energies you're streaming in, you will definitely be targeted. There's no, it doesn't matter what race you are, it doesn't matter how you look, and it doesn't matter what age you are. So I find it very disrespectful when somebody says that just because you're a certain age, you didn't go through these things, or this, or just because you look like that. No, they target everybody that has abilities. There's literally no limit to it. I've had so many young indigos and indigo children that have told me how they've been exploited and how they've went through it, and it's been very, very hard for them. So the basis is that they target everyone and anybody who is gifted. Knowing this, we can go ahead and understand that there are also ways to heal from this, and I've been doing so much healing. I've done so much healing throughout the years, and there's been instances where I couldn't because I wasn't in a good situation, and I was quite poor, and I lived in a hallway once. I simply just kind of slept in a hallway once, and I walked to work. So I've had all sorts of things happen to me, and I've always tried to work on my heart all the time and know that that's my sort of my core and of my being, and try to stay there. And I think people who have been used and exploited in this way, they simply do all they can to keep them down, because they're also, you have to realize is that when they keep you down, when they keep you sad or unhappy or stuff like that, or your life in chaos, they can hack you more. They can make literal cracks or make literal holes in your aura, where then they can access you and they can go ahead and use you. So you will definitely be gang stalked and things like that. So put a better effort at healing and put a better effort at getting yourself freed from these things, because it's your power to release yourself from these things. Are your power, and you're more powerful than them. That's the thing. They hack your abilities, and often because they don't have them themselves. They don't have the gifts that you have, and they want them. So this is why they hack you. This is why they go after you. When you heal and you restore all of that to you, and I often say, when I've been attacked or something, I demand it from the universe, 7 times 7 my energy back, or 7 times 7 what they tried to take from me, I demand it. And so what you can do is you can go ahead and do lots of healing, where you ask for everything that they have stolen to be returned to you. And as you heal more and more and more, you can then go ahead and heal the holes in your aura, and you will be less accessed, and you will have your sort of the bubble, because it's almost like a bubble when I look at people too. It's almost like a bubble around. And when you have that healed, all of that, and you've healed your aura, and you've healed your chakras, and you've healed on subtle energy levels, then you then become a menace to them. And this is why they go after gifted people, because they know at birth that these people can change the world, so they will go after you. I look at people who just, gifted people are definitely really, really targeted. But I notice people who push healthy eating are also really targeted. People who just push healing with crystals, people who aren't even into the stuff that I am, they get terribly, terribly targeted. And it's because each person is bringing their own specific gift of healing to the world, and so they're getting targeted. When it comes to targeting, like I said, they don't really care race, religion, or anything. It does not matter to them. And the best thing for targeted individuals to do who are gifted is to, I think, first of all, you have to work on your heart. It's the first thing. I always start with my heart. And then what I do is I do work pretty much on all of the chakras together. If you just do that simple exercise every day, you will start to go higher and higher and higher. I noticed that some people who are able to go into higher realms, they, what I call interdimensional walkers, they will try to, since they've figured out you can walk dimensions. Not a lot of people are awake to multidimensionality, and not a lot of people can then walk dimensions or keep that information when they're process that information when the soul comes back to the body, because people are asleep. So there are gifted who remember those sort of experiences, so because they're awakened. So when the soul comes back to the body, it has all the information, and those people are very, very much targeted. What happens is they will try to they figured out you can walk dimensions. They figured out you can bring back literally information for them. They will go ahead and try to bring your vibration down so you can walk lower realms too. See, it's like tuning you up. They know you have a gift. They want to tune you either higher or lower, wherever they decide that they want you to go. So you've got that sort of stuff going on too. And it's absolutely ridiculous, because it's absolutely draining. Once I had an experience when I was in Dallas. I had an experience, and because I can walk realms, literally, and I could see where the certain I would go up, 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 up through the realms very, very quickly, and I could see levels, and it's sort of like almost like the movie The Matrix. It's very, very interesting. And I was going up, and I passed this group of, I guess you could say Anunnaki, or angels of old, you might say, that were a bit fallen. Some of the ones who decided to stay here and make this their playground, and they are not allowed to go into higher dimensions until they heal, or depending on their choices. And I was like, okay. So I went and I hung out a little bit with them, and it's funny because I simply interact with so many beings, because it's just my soul goes and does this. And like I said the other time, I said, I don't know, my soul just goes and does all of this stuff. She seems to know what she's doing. And I remember I went there and I reminded them that they should heal. And I had how can I put this? One of the ones, and they do come into bodies, and many of them come into bodies, and many of them are often sometimes born into bodies and born lifetimes, and they get stuck down here, and they until they heal. And I knew the one of them, and I said to the one of them, I said, because this is a person that I was working with back then, and I said to them, I said, you know, I'm going up. I'm going up, you know, I'm going to go to the highest realms and just go back up there, because that's where I like staying. And he told me, he said, you know, right now we can't go up to those realms until we heal. So I started to realize that certain beings and even certain people are blocked out from higher realms if they don't, if they're not energetically on the right frequency. And even what you would call fallen angels, sometimes they're locked out. I know that they could get up to the, from what I know they could get up to the 5th dimension, so 5D. So I had become aware of this, that they could go up to 5D, and that's where I'd pass them lots of times. The thing is that this sort of dimension walking, you might say, is something that some forces really are really interested in, because they want to know what's going on in the higher realms they can't get into. They want to know what's going on in alternate realities, or even in different timelines and stuff like that. So people who can access this sort of stuff, like I said, are very, very targeted. At that point in time in my life, I was very, very targeted. And I still am probably targeted today, but I don't even like saying that I am, because I think that's reinforcing a sort of negativity. So I'd like to say that I am probably a lot less, and I do agree I am a lot less targeted nowadays than I was back then. But I've also done major amounts of healing. And it does take sometimes years to heal, and it does take a lot of self-love. And self-love is one of the first things that, other than working on your heart, self-love is so important to work on, because if you love yourself, you you can love others. That's very, very important thing, I think, is that we need to have self-love, and that shines out. But with self-love, as you learn self-love, you start to also be less accessible, because of the fact that your body and your soul start working in accord, and they start protecting you on all levels. So self-love is very, very important, and it's one of the things that I think people who have been targeted really need to work on, because their confidence, their self-love, literally they've all just been thrown down because they've been attacked so many times. Then when they express to that, they are experiencing things. People around them, whether it's family or friends, have told them that they're crazy or they're insane. So they've also been slapped in 3D very, very hard, and it's very, very hard for them to cope in an everyday life. What I want to do is probably make this a 3-part series, because right now I'm just sort of touching on the things that happen to targeted individuals, and I definitely have a list of experiences that I will definitely speak about next time. But in this video, I do want to speak about the main thing as what you experience when you're a targeted individual, because I think it's very hard for people to to just tell people around them that this is happening to me, that I was just taken out of my body and brought maybe off planet, or I was just brought to another dimensions, or I just saw this or this or this, and weird stuff is happening to me. It's very, very hard for people like that, and I think that I want to be a support to people like that and say, listen, I have experienced these things. They're absolutely normal to me. To me, they're absolutely normal. And when people wake up and when the world wakes up, they'll also realize just what's going on when they wake up to their multidimensional selves. You might say that gifted people or indigo children, even people who can access all this stuff, are more awakened to their multidimensional selves than most people are. And this is creating an issue because you have the people who are asleep and you have the people who are awake, and the people who are awake are the ones who could help out the people asleep, but they're being targeted by darker forces so that they can be brought down so that the world can stay in a dormant mode, in an asleep mode, almost like Sleep in Beauty. So this is the sort of war that's going on with individuals that are gifted. They're very, very targeted. I also think that people who are gifted also will have maybe more issues with getting sick sometimes because of the fact that they transmit, like I said, these people naturally, since they are waking up multidimensionally, they also, their abilities, lots of them are lit up, and some people just transmute energy everywhere they walk. They're taking negative energy or even detached negative entities, and they're pulling them into themselves and transmuting so that people can go ahead, so people can go around them, heal constantly. And what happens is then you can get sick or you can get all sorts of issues unless you clear that energy out. So that's perfectly normal. If you're feeling down, you just need to really detox yourself and look at the fact that you might be just literally a walking healer, where you walk around and you're healing people because you're taking out their negative energy that are off of them. You have to realize, imagine that many people are kept asleep because they're so full of, there's so many leeches sucking their energy, and there's so much negative energy in their aura. They're kept literally like Sleep in Beauty. They're kept asleep. So to wake them up, you have to take that energy and transmute it. They don't even know, they're not even aware of their multidimensional selves. So you're doing that. And I see this with so many crystal children, indigo children, so many gifted people are doing this. And then I realize, that it does take a toll on the body, and you really, really have to step up and take care of it. And so don't feel bad if you're actually having some bad days, after you go out. Sometimes when I go out, I sometimes if I go around somebody who I feel has like a really, really dense aura, I know nowadays, because I've trained myself, whether or not I am in the state to help them out. And so sort of getting control over your abilities too is also important, because otherwise you're going to have where you're pulling in everybody's energy and you're going to have some bad days, and it's totally, totally fine. It's about becoming aware of this and then being able to transmute that energy out so that you sort of bring back in fresh chi energy into yourself and you have helped that person out. And this is very good because this is a sort of giver attitude. And so many people are takers in life, and they're takers of energy, and to be a giver is a very, very good thing. You are giving them healing and you are transmuting energy so that they can awaken more. The thing is that so I don't get off track here. The thing is that you need to train your abilities. So if you're a person who is gifted, if you walk outside among a crowd and you come back home feeling a bit crappy, and what you've probably done is you've probably absorbed energy from people around you, just people that were in the crowd, and you are trying to, you're what I call a perpetual healer of people around you. So what you want to do is you want to learn control over your abilities. It's very easy to see if you have that ability. Like I said, if you go out in a crowd and you feel bad after, it's most likely because you were absorbing the negative energy. So you want to figure out the abilities you have, and then you want to go ahead and try to train those abilities so that you become the master over them. This is very important for gifted people, and this is very, very important for targeted individuals and for psychic assets. It's very, very important to learn your abilities and then to get control over them, because as you get control over them, then the dark forces can't, and then the different factions that target you for those abilities cannot get control, have any more control over them. So essentially, what you can do, and I've done so much work on this sort of stuff myself. What you can do is you can, when you go out, before you go out, if you decide that day that you don't want to do that because of the fact that you need to do some healing on yourself, and you can't do that right now, it'll be too much. It'll be too much for your energy body to absorb that. You want to just imagine a bubble around you, and you want to reinforce that bubble so that when you go out into the crowds, you will be well. You won't absorb that energy. Don't always keep that bubble on you. You know, take it off. I imagine like it's like putting on a protection shirt or a protection robe and taking it off. You're putting that on, you're putting that bubble on, but there are people that you definitely need to help out. So when the days that you feel like you have extra energy and you're strong enough to do that, then you can leave that bubble off and then you can heal, go and transmute energy. This is how we wake people up, is by transmuting energy a lot too. The transmutants of energy, what you do is, because you're a multi-dimensional being, you take that negative energy, you transform it, and you relieve their souls of it. So it's being gifted and being an indigo child, or being somebody who has been in psychic asset or in anything like that. There is obvious positivity to this too, because lots of us have turned out to be healers, and lots of us have turned out to be givers, and lots of us have turned out to be very, very strong souls from it. It's also taught us, I think, very, very many lessons. And, you know, you could choose to, how I'd rather be how I am and how I have went through all I've went through than be the asleep person walking down the street. And that's what I want to say, because I do feel that all of this can be used in a positive manner. Like I said, you've went through it. Now you can heal from it. Issues that people have that are gifted or multi-dimensional soldiers or psychic assets, they'll have anxiety. You also have to eat probably every 2.5 hours because of to keep your blood sugar up. You need to eat a very, very good diet. You need to avoid sugar. You need to avoid any foods that are very greasy or fried foods. And also any sort of foods that have junk foods, candy, stuff like that, because of the fact that your body is using far more energy than other people. So you need to keep putting in very, very good building blocks for your body. You need to stick towards fruits, vegetables. You know, I have lots of friends who are vegan, but I also have friends who aren't. So if you could just stick to the basics of very good food, you know, then I think that that's already a building block to build a step to healing. I also wanted to say is that lots of herbs will really, really, really help out, because with gifted people, there's the different energy channels in the body that need clearing out much more than normal people, and much more than normally, because of the fact that that's how they keep you in control. They sort of put hooks in your different energy channels, so you have to clear those out, and herbs are amazing for doing that. I have quite a collection of them, and like I said, I'll do a video about that. I've used lots of acupuncture, lots of Reiki. Another thing is that when you're a targeted individual like this, you need more vitamins. Yes, you need far more vitamins. Why? Because you're expelling more energy and you are under more stress and pressure from different forces, so you need to really reinforce your body. So a lot more vitamins and minerals than normal. I take probably twice the dose recommended for a normal individual every single day. And I pair that up with spirulina and chlorella drinks and stuff like that throughout the day. You want to avoid stuff like milk products, dairy products, gluten, heavier foods, because they pull your energy body down, and so it can create issues too there. Remember that when your energy bodies pull down, this is what they do. This is why you're targeted. They really, really cannot hack you and use you unless they pull your energy body down to then where where they can access you. So by gang stalking and everything that's happening to you, they're trying to pull your frequency down. Then they can go ahead and hack you. Pretty much that's the thing. So they attack you on every level till they can pretty much pull you down and access you. I've noticed this a lot, and every time that I think that I'm being attacked, I simply will take wheatgrass shots or something, so that I'm like counteracting the attacks that are being done to me. The thing you can do is, because they've exploited you in these ways, and I know many people are aware of, if they have went through this, they're aware of it. You can counteract this by doing beautiful things for yourself, by healing, by eating a great diet will help so much. Taking lots of vitamins, doing lots of energy work. All of those things are solutions, and they do work. And I know there's different levels of healing, but they do work for people who have been targeted. And it's sort of what it does is it counteracts all the negativity that they're throwing at you. So it's a really, really nice thing. And then you will grow stronger and much more evolved when you do all of this self-healing. I think the hardest is for the gifted children, because I think that these children are being put through so much, so they can be exploited. It's really, really sad. And those are the ones that I'm worried about the most. There's also, for me at least in this area, I've noticed that there is, how can I put it? In this area, there is, I'm having issues right now. It's like they're trying to blank. They're trying to get me blanked out. I have to be very careful right now. I just blanked out. Can you stop it a second? We had a small tea break. So I could catch my breath, because speaking about this stuff, it gets so overwhelming sometimes. Sometimes I think I'm just going to avoid doing a video about this stuff, and then my friend, he's like, I'm coming over, I'm going to do it right now. So I'm sort of like, okay, I'll do it after. But because it's quite stressing to talk about, and it does make me get quite a few psychic attacks. But luckily, I have my stones here, and just holding them a couple of minutes during that break, I was able sort of to rebalance out. What I wanted to say is people who, like I said, people who are multi-dimensional walkers, psychic assets, dimensional soldiers, indigo children, you guys have abilities. We have abilities that are open, we have abilities that are awake. And like I said, it's about becoming back in control of yourself. You're aware that you're a multi-dimensional being. You have all this stuff happening to you. It's about becoming back, taking back your power in a way. And that's the whole point of this video, is about, I'm encouraging you to take back your power. You have to realize is that some people have had their abilities opened up through trauma, so they've been forced open. They forcefully did certain stuff to open up their how can I put this, to open up their senses. So trauma, they've been put through trauma so that their certain abilities can be awakened and can be lit up. Then there's the ones who are born with these abilities from childhood and from people are bloodline or indigos or stuff like that, or they're literally, your soul is so powerful that when you incarnate, those abilities are there. The thing is that all of these people can heal. And I know, like I said, most of them are targeted, and that's what this whole video is about. All of these people can do healing. To let you know that because you're a multi-dimensional being and you're aware of these things and you're aware that you are more opened up than naturally, I will let you know that, like I said, the different channels of the body have to be cleared out. And I like using Bach essences, homeopathy, acupuncture works amazingly, like I've been saying, all sorts of things. So you really have to heal on all different levels. One of the things that you need to realize is that when you have abilities lit up, of course that's always connected to the flower of life within you, and that needs to be worked on. And when you strengthen the flower of life within yourself, and you can use that, I use all sorts of flower essences, flower teas, and sort of like Bach remedies are amazing. They'll work on that. So you also have to realize with healing, one-dimensional medicine isn't going to work on you. It's going to be all about energy medicine, and it's going to be all about subtle energies, because the negative forces, they access you through subtle energies. Yes, when you don't clear yourself and stuff like that, you sometimes can get gunk, and then they brings yourself down and they access you. Many people in these areas have been drug addicts, have been alcoholics, and have had all sorts of issues, and the reason is because they were essentially targeted because of the abilities they have, and then they can only be used once pulled into the lower frequencies or lower densities. And drugs does this, so does bad eating, and so does lots of negatively charged things. Drugs, heavy drinking, you not taking care of your body, all of these things can go ahead and pull you down so you can then be accessed. So when working in this area, I'm very, very used to coming across people who have even eaten issues, because that pulls you down. It puts the body in chaos. So people who are indigos, people who are gifted, people who are psychic assets, people, interdimensional soldiers, they are being targeted too, in that they're being brought down, like I said, and they're experiencing these things. It's too much for them, some of them, and it can cause mental breakdowns and all sorts of stuff. There are also many, like I said, a good many are drug addicts, are alcoholics, are don't take well care of themselves. Some are just close themselves up in their homes. They're sort of what do you call it? They sort of like are just to themselves, you know, because they're scared of contact because of everything that's happened to them. So these people who have been through this stuff need more care and more kindness and more love than normally. And I'm very honest about myself. The things I've been through, I always say I'm a needy baby for love, or a needy baby to be extra taken care of. I have to watch out more for my food. I have to watch out more for what I put in my body, what I do, because I know that I am targeted. And so I'm very much more careful with myself and people around me. I only accept being treated amazingly, or it's like, and I'm very honest, I've been through so much, whether it's been because of the fact that I'm a gifted individual and I was targeted, or what I went through as a child. I know this. So people who have these issues will probably be a bit more needy, and it's okay. You know, it's totally okay. And if you're one of these people, I understand that you need more love. I understand you need more support, and I understand you need people to prove to you they're trustworthy more than normal, because all you've been through has made you feel lots of things. You're not very trusting of people. You are very close to yourself. You have yourself a bit close because of everything you went through. You are having issues with depression, or with utter just feeling unhappy every day, or stuff like that. I understand this is normal because of everything that happened to you. Don't feel bad about yourself. Just try to take steps to heal. Try to take steps to finding people who really care and connecting to them. For me, it was hard, you know. I slept on the floor growing up as a child, and I didn't think that I should even be sleeping in bed, and I didn't think that I should even have a bed. I thought it was quite normal to be on the floor, and this lady that has become like a mother to me, this was years back, she just simply, you know, she's like, go sleep in the bed and stuff like that. And I think that you should feel deserving of love, and you should feel deserving that you deserve a balanced life. You deserve a balanced, healthy, happy life, despite what's being thrown at you. So you should do your best to achieve that, and provide stability for yourself. Do lots of healing on yourself. You know, try to achieve goals. Find people, test them. It's okay to test people. You know, it's okay. Test them until they prove they're worthy, that they've gained your trust, that they've gained your love. You know what? And it's okay if you test them, because after all you've been put through, you have the right to do that. Try to balance your life out. Try to seek help, whether it's acupuncture, stuff like that, and simply try to get yourself power back. And this will really, really change your life. You'll become a much happier person, and you will kick some of these, how do you call it? You will kick ours. You will kick ours of these dark beings that are trying to mess with you and those around you. And this is what I want to finish this video with. And today I just really want to speak about this stuff that targeted individuals, that people are gifted, go through. And next time I will definitely continue on a lot more stuff. I kind of had like a mind blank. I had all of this information that I was going to say in this video, and I had a mind blank, and that's why I had to take a couple of minutes out because of that. But next time I will touch on even more deeper stuff than this. But I really wanted to encourage people in this area to heal themselves and to realize just how beautiful and how divine they are, and how amazing their souls are, and how gifted they are, that they're woken up to this stuff, that they're not asleep like everybody walking around, that they actually know a lot that's going on. You know, I'd rather be somebody who is woken up to what's going on in the world and that is targeted, like I said, than somebody that's asleep. Think that that is your power. That is simply your power, that you're awake to things. Use that. Don't let them mess with you anymore. Use that. And I wanted to just say thank you, everybody, also for watching my blogs and me speak about all sorts of insanity. Thank you very much. And I'm sort of like gonna sign off now and go get some dinner because it's late here in England. But I just wanted to give lots of encouragement to everybody who is being targeted in these areas, and say that there is definitely a way out, and in the end everything's going to be okay, and we need to ponder on that.